And after plus 100 movies of NYC being destroyed, one of them has to be true to some extent. Dude, every single movie you see your hood being destroyed. It's like every single fucking... Actually, no, it's never your hood. It's always Midtown. It's always Midtown. They're like, yeah, Godzilla would totally walk all the way to Central Park. And I'm like, okay, all right. No, Godzilla would walk to like Far Rockaway and laser beam that shit because that's the closest thing to where he'd probably emerge from. That's just, I'm just saying that's just how it would go. All right. You know what? Fuck it. Godzilla would probably end up on Staten Island and be like, oh, this is the closest thing to the ocean. Very unrealistic, these fucking movies, man. It's always Midtown. It's always Midtown. It's either that or it's like downtown near all the financial shit. Always. Wouldn't he be in California? I mean, well, that's true. That's true. I'm just saying, if he was in the New York area, he'd emerge and he'd probably find Staten Island just because of, you know, where it is geographically. If I'm being honest. Yeah, or he'd walk into Battery Park, but they never show that. They're like, oh my god, the monster is in Central Park. And I'm like, all right. Okay. So every time aliens arriving on Earth, either at New York or San Francisco, you would think that they look for an open tract of land that doesn't really have much on it. So they'd probably go to the fucking Midwest. They'd go to Kansas. They'd see all the wheat. They'd see how Kansas looks the same, like, all across, and they'd be like, that's a good spot to land. Actually, no, they'd probably see tornadoes and things and be like, oh, and go a bit north. Fuck it, they would land in Wisconsin. And then they hear about the Packers, the Green Bay Packers. I don't know, they wouldn't be landing in a city. Definitely not. I don't think so. Day one of Godzilla going to NYC, he gets mugged. Dude. I'm not going to say what I think, but I will say this. I will say this. There'd just be a ton of people, phones out, selfie mode, being like, yo, look at him. Yo, this guy's crazy right now. He's crazy right now. Okay, that's what you would see. Most people would be running and screaming, and then you'd see a lot of people being like, this shit's insane. Just how it would be. Yeah. World star, world star. Because I'll be honest with you. I've seen absolute crises occur. Absolute crises. There'll be a good number of people running, but you know what they do? When you're in a horrible crisis situation, you're in a city, something's going down, boom, explosion, whatever. You should probably run and keep running, right? You should probably like go very far and don't stop until you're like beyond home. But people run like half a block and then turn around every fucking time. Something awful happens, they run a little bit and then they stop and they're like, let me just make sure that that horrible sound I heard was really there. And I'm like, you fucking heard it. Keep running. What are you doing? Yeah, no self-preservation. It's insane, dude. It's insane. I swear it happens all the time. Like someone will like, you know, you'll hear like a gunshot go off and you're like in the subway, right? You're in this little area and it's like, okay, I should get out of here. I should not be in a hallway, right? Worst spot to be in. I don't know what this person's doing. I don't know their intent, so I should get out of here. I swear to you, people get up to the top of the stairs, stop and turn around. just as if stopping and looking might help them better run away from whatever's going on because now they know where a thing. No, just keep going, dude. It's all the time. They always do this shit. And I'm like, all right. Now, people aren't shooting the subways very often. But this really doesn't happen often, but when it does happen, I swear people just stop. And I'm like, what are you doing? What is going on? It's like any horror flick, just run. Yeah, like just the more time you spend running, the farther you end up being away from it. I don't know if you know. It's just funny. At the end of the day, humans are humans. They've got like, you know, remnants of that lizard brain going on. Like everyone has that. So your brain is going to be like, I want to know. It makes you stop, right? I must know. Run until you can't breathe, then take a look. Yeah, exactly. Run until you can't. That's what I'm saying. It's just, I mean, and that's why when you watch horror movies and you see like someone run and stop and you're looking at the screen and you're like, you idiot, why'd you stop? That's actually so realistic. That is so realistic. People always do this. Pro tip, if you're being chased by a velociraptor, trip the people next to you to ensure self-preservation. I legitimately, okay, there was a time I was in the subway. Very loud noise occurs. Now, the noise was just some worker dropping something, but some people screamed and were saying words like it was something else, and it wasn't. So people freaked out and started exiting, right? It was fine. And I saw the dude drop the thing, and I was like, all right, you know. But not everyone was right there within line of sight. So people hear a thing, and they're like, oh, and they panic, and they start running. I watched people running up the steps. I watched a guy go, I'm getting out of this bitch. He said that, I'm getting out of this bitch. And I saw him run up the stairs and take every person in front of him, grab their shoulder, and push them backwards as he kept running. He was grabbing people and using them like a fucking ladder. I was like, oh my God, no way. And then because he was doing that, people were like, what the fuck? Like everyone else was just running. And if someone was ahead of you, they were ahead of you. You're going at whatever pace you can, right? People were pissed. So I saw some other dude behind him grab his leg and go, nope, and drag him back and throw him down the stairs. Like everyone teamed up and they were like, no. And they grabbed him by the leg and dragged him. So he had to start over again. And I was just standing there watching because, you know, I saw this dude like drop this big metal thing, and I was like, okay, it was just the sound of like equipment, you know? So I didn't run, you know, I was just sitting there watching, and I just had like a perfect view watching people like drag this guy back down. Yeah, crabs in a bucket, literally. But the thing is, like, crabs in a bucket more so refers to like everyone doing that to each other. It wasn't that. Everyone was trying to just go forward, right? And they weren't pushing that hard. They were just like, come on, guys, keep it moving, keep it moving. Like, they were being pretty good about it. It's just this one guy being like that, right? That one guy was doing the thing. It was fucked. It was so fucked. I don't know. Yeah, that one guy was the only one grabbing multiple people and like, you know, throwing them back. I was looking at it and I was like, you motherfucker, you. If anything, he was more likely to injure people than whatever that situation whatever they thought they were running from was, right? Like that guy was likely to get people trampled. I was like, one dude is causing so much issue. So I'm glad someone grabbed him by the leg and just yoinked him back. Because it was funny because one guy went nope and grabbed his leg. And as soon as that one guy started doing it, everyone else was like, yeah, you know what? Fuck that guy. Like, they didn't want to be the first one to do it, but because one guy did it, everyone else was like, yeah. And they all started dragging him down and being like, you go back down there. I remember one lady, like, pointing at him. And I couldn't hear what she was saying because there was so much noise. And she wasn't, like, yelling, but she was saying something to him. She was pointing her finger and being like, you, something, you know, as she was walking past him. It was so funny. It's like getting reprimanded by a little old lady. As she was calmly, well, not calmly, but quickly, you know, making her way up the steps. It was just funny. It was funny.